Another sutta I want to ask you to share your knowledge and wisdom on is the Chulla Sunata Sutta, the Little Emptiness Sutra, or the Lesser Emptiness. I don't know what the right translation is. Anyway, this sutta is to talk about how the field of perception is void of desire and being and ignorance. But then it also talks about what is not void, what is present. Now, so the sutra talks about understanding what is void to be void, and then to also understand what is not void, what is present to be present, almost giving the same theory as the Tathagata Garbha Sutras do, that what is empty is the what are empty are the adventitious defilements, or what are what don't exist are really the temporary defilements, that Buddha nature is empty of them. But then the Buddha nature is not really empty of itself, kind of theory, that there is a real sort of thing, a real sort of presence. This almost, to me, sounds like a very strong argument one could use for the Tibetan Shentong position on Buddha nature. How does this sutta, this statement, fit in the general understanding of the Pali tradition? And what's your take? How would you see this?
That question is too difficult for a simple-minded person like me, I think. But that sutra gives a method of understanding emptiness, which is by seeing what is there physically in the field of perception, like in the forest, you see the trees. And so the monk, the meditator, is aware of what is there, and then, oh, there's no people, for example, in the forest. Hopefully there's no cars, no helicopters. So he's aware that the forest is there and that these other things are not. So it's a kind of a meditative practice of being aware of what is directly before you. And so that is the practical aspect of it. And then it is translated into a more abstract that you mentioned. So it can be said that what is sunya, what is the empty of, and what is it not empty of. I didn't bring that passage here. I have to confess that this is one of the Mahasutras that I'm trying to finish the translation of. Finish means I've been translating it for around 40 years. I'm trying to finish this translation, and both of the Sunyata Suttas, in their Pali versions and their Tibetan Mahasutra versions, are very difficult. They're very deep. And the Pali version, the one you have mentioned, the Chulla Sunyata Sutta, is to me neglected. That means it's preserved in the Tipitaka, but it is not emphasized in any, it is not singled out into any kind of, again, any kind of a system of emptiness or anything. So we have to get interpreted according to our own insights. And so what I did want to share here is that this passage you mentioned, is Lesser Shunyata Sutta, is actually the key to the Madhyanta Vibhaga, Maitreya's Madhyanta Vibhaga. And you look here, actually, first one is more of an introductory verse. Verses 2 and 3 are actually summarizing the passage you mentioned. I can't go into that now. They're not easy to translate, but the abhuta parikalpasti dvayam tatra na vidyate, shunyata vidyate tvatra, tasyam api savidyate. So it combines the idea that sunyata is there, but at the same time, it's empty, but there is also the false constructions, false imagination, abhuta parikalpa. And then you get na shunyang na picha shunyang. So it's neither empty nor is it not empty. Therefore, it is spoken for all. And then sattva, such as it's and then this is the Madhyama Pratipat. So this, to unpack all of this is the middle way, is expounded by that sutra. So we should not be hung up by the basic idea of emptiness and non-emptiness. Actually, the sutra itself is already going beyond, as in this verse. And in the commentary to this verse, this is the Karika, the verse attributed to Maitreya, and the commentary actually quotes the same sutra you referred to explain this. So that Lesser Sunyata Sutra, Mahasutra, is a key to the work of one of the works of Maitreya. And these works are really wonderful. To me, these works attributed to Maitreya, the root texts are most of them are in verse, very fine, well-composed verse, very well organized summary and progression of thought of the Madhya ntavibha, the Ratnagotra Vibhaga, and so on. So that is a wonderful thing. And how these masters transmitted these ideas from the basic concepts of the sutras and translated them into verse, into whole new systems of thought, is really something wonderful.
And also it's really refreshing, really wonderful to also know how you have the Pali Sutras and Mahayana Shastra here sort of coming together, basically having the same sort of core message